Have you ever been let down by someone who said they'd handle a situation but didn't? Well, today we're diving into a story that revolves around these exact words, "I'll handle it." We'll explore how you should respond when your boss utters this phrase and how to protect yourself from potential consequences. Stay tuned till the end because I'm going to share with you why saying "I'll handle it" is actually a warning sign. Welcome back to my channel where I post videos every week to help you be a better leader and manager. So the question is, what do you think the protagonist should have done differently? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Once upon a time in a tech hub, there was an aspiring software engineer named Sarah. Sarah was eager to prove herself and her boss noticed her dedication. One day he came up to her and said, "Don't worry, I'll handle it." He explained that a big client was visiting the next week and he wanted Sarah to work on a small part of the presentation. The deadline was tight, so she only had 2 days to complete it. She finished quickly and well, but it wasn't perfect. Nevertheless, she met the deadline. On the big day, everything seemed to be going smoothly. The client was impressed. Then suddenly the CEO stopped the presentation and said, "Let's see the prototype everyone has been working on." Sarah's boss confidently said, "Sure thing." He launched the prototype. It didn't work. Things froze. An awkward silence filled the room. "Who did this?" the CEO asked. Sarah's boss looked at Sarah. She was shocked. Confused, she shook her head. Her boss sighed and took the blame. "I apologize. We will fix it for the final presentation tomorrow." Everyone left. Sarah felt terrible. She stayed late, fixing the prototype. The next day, her boss didn't even acknowledge her efforts. During the final presentation, Sarah noticed a few more bugs. She was worried, but her boss reassured her. "Don't worry, I'll handle it." He kept his promise, fixed the bugs during the client meeting. The client was impressed. Her boss was praised. Sarah was invisible. A few months passed. Sarah worked hard, solving problems, fixing bugs, and improving the product. Her boss never offered credit. He took all the public wins. Once when another engineer took some of her boss's credit, he called her boss into his office. He firmly told her boss to give credit where it was due. Her boss came out of the office with a sullen look. He didn't speak to her for the rest of the week. Sarah was confused. Why was he so upset? A week later, the CTO announced that a new feature would be added to the product. The deadline was tight. Sarah was given a huge chunk of the work. She spent 2 weeks working on it. When she shared her almost finished work, her boss interrupted. "Don't worry, I'll handle it." He took over. For the next few days, he barely left his office. Finally, he came to her and said, "This is great. Just make these minor changes." She did. When she presented it to the team, there was dead silence. "What happened?" she asked. Her boss spoke up. "We need to start over. This doesn't fit into our architecture." Sarah was confused. "But you said, 'Don't worry, I'll handle it.'" He cut her off. "Listen, I don't want to hear another word about this from you." He left. Sarah was stunned. Should she have known better than to trust her boss? Over the next few weeks, Sarah worked tirelessly on a new design. She met with different teams to incorporate their feedback. She stayed late, working with a colleague to test it. The new deadline was fast approaching. Suddenly, her boss approached her. "Don't worry, I've got this." With a stack of papers in hand, he handed them over to her. "Just review these documents. Make sure they are accurate. I'll handle the presentation." Sarah was furious. She ripped the papers and threw them at him. "Why are you doing this?" "What did I do to you?" He stared at her, then walked away. Sarah was suspended for 1 month without pay. She started looking for other jobs. She realized that if she were to stay, she would burn out. A few months later, she was working for a new company. She received a call from her previous boss. "Are you free next week? We have an urgent project, and I could really use your help." She replied, "I'm sorry, I'm not available. I'm busy with a project at my new company." She heard a frustrated sigh. "It's urgent. Our client needs a prototype by Friday." She replied, "Sorry, I can't help." She ended the call. A few days later, she saw her boss in the news. His company was in trouble because of a failed project. "I'll handle it," he said. Those 3 words had caused him to lose his job. Sarah felt sorry for him, but she also knew she made the right decision. Now, let's talk about why those 3 little words, "I'll handle it," can cause so much trouble. First off, it shows a lack of leadership. When someone says, "I'll handle it," they're essentially taking responsibility for something. They're putting themselves in a position of authority. However, when push comes to shove, they often delegate tasks or pass the buck instead of stepping up and taking charge. This can be frustrating and demoralizing for those around them. People start to lose respect and trust in their ability to lead. Furthermore, it creates confusion and uncertainty. When someone says, "Don't worry, I'll handle it," it can create a false sense of security in those who hear it. They might think that the person in charge has everything under control, when in reality they don't. This can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunication, and a breakdown in trust. People can find themselves in a precarious position, unsure of what to expect or how to proceed. In addition, it avoids accountability. When someone says, "I'll handle it," they might be trying to avoid responsibility for a mistake or an error. Instead of taking ownership and addressing the issue, they try to shift the blame to someone else. This can create a toxic work environment where people are afraid to speak up or take initiative. It also breeds resentment and distrust among colleagues as people realize that others are being held accountable, while certain individuals are able to escape responsibility. Overall, the phrase "I'll handle," it may seem like a quick and easy way to dismiss a problem or reassure someone, but it can have serious consequences. It's important to be mindful of the potential drawbacks and communicate in a clear, honest, and accountable manner instead. So here are 5 tips on what to do when your boss tells you, "I'll handle it." First, listen carefully to understand the full scope of what your boss is asking you to do. If anything is unclear, ask questions to ensure you have a complete understanding of your responsibilities and deadlines. Second, express your willingness to help. Let your boss know that you're happy to assist in any way you can, but also explain any limitations or constraints you may face. This will show your boss that you're a team player, while also setting realistic expectations. Third, offer suggestions or solutions. If you have any ideas or strategies for how to handle the situation, don't be afraid to share them with your boss. Even if they don't go along with your suggestions, your boss may appreciate the input, and it could lead to a better outcome. Fourth, agree on a plan of action. Once you and your boss have discussed the situation and any potential solutions, agree on a clear plan of action. This will help ensure that everyone is on the same page and that the task is completed successfully. Fifth, follow up and communicate. Be sure to follow up with your boss as needed to keep them informed of your progress. If there are any changes or updates, communicate them promptly. By following these tips, you can demonstrate your professionalism, reliability, and commitment to your team. And remember, when your boss says, "I'll handle it," it's not always a good thing. While they may have the best intentions, it's important to be aware of the potential pitfalls of this phrase and to take proactive steps to protect yourself and your career. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.